In this tutorial, we'll be going through the process by which we can directly upload our source code to the Hostinger hpanel without it manually being uploaded in the hpanel dashboard or hpanel file manager. We'll be going through the process in which we'll connect the GitHub to our Hostinger panel, and then whenever we will upload any or push our code to the GitHub, it will be automatically redeployed to our Hostinger hpanel, and we don't have to manually upload the code then to the file manager to see how our changes have been applied. So this is the walkthrough, this is the process of connecting our GitHub to the Hostinger and then connecting that GitHub to the VS Code or any of the code editor of your choice, so that you can deploy your code to see the live changes of the code. The first step of this process is that you need to have a GitHub repository where you will upload your code, or you will upload your code base that you want to deploy into the Hostinger hpanel. So for this, I have created this repository, and what we have to do is we have to connect this repository to our VS Code or any of the code editor that we are using. For that, I have put some commands in the description. You can go through those and you have to follow those steps like I'll do them right now, and we'll see how it goes. So first step is you have to go to your code base main folder, main directory, where you have kept all your code, where there is your code base, and you have to get that folder in your terminal. Means you have to open that folder in your terminal. The path of your terminal should be that folder in which your main code resides. So let me open the terminal in the VS Code, and you can do the same in your thing as well by the opening this option. Now it will open the terminal of your code base, and you have to put some commands in here. So the first command will be these are all the commands that we are going to use, and you'll find those exact same commands in the description of our video. So the first command will be to initialize the git. So we'll initialize the git first, and what it will do is it will create a local repo in our system, and where we will save those changes or save those code files that we are going to upload in the GitHub. So these are the commands. Let me follow the process, and it is adding those local files and the location of those files so that we can upload the updates and we can track the updates that are synced between our local and our GitHub repo. Then we'll paste another command. Then after these three commands, what you have to do is you have to add your own custom command. Means in your case it will be something else, in my case it will be something else. What you have to do is, I'll be putting this in the description. You have to copy and paste from there. You have to copy this from there, and instead of this repo link here, you have to use your own link. Means you have to get your own repository link where you are going to upload the files, where you are going to store the files that will be then later connected to the hpanel. So instead of this repo link, you will cut this out and you will go to your GitHub repository. I have just created this repository, and you have to copy the link of this repository. Here I can copy the link of this repository, or I can copy this link. And no, you can't copy this link because it doesn't have the git in here. You have to look for the link here. You will first go to the GitHub repository here, and if this repository is empty, you will see the setup like this, and you have to copy this link, or you will see the option there in the main page that where you can copy the link, and this is the link. You have to copy this link and you have to paste it here, and this whole command should be formatted like this: git remote add origin and then your GitHub repository link. Then what you will do is you will paste it in the code editor here in the terminal, and what it will do is it will connect your GitHub repository to the repository that is currently in your local system. And after that you will add this command, and then these two commands. Now what it will do is it will upload all the code that is in your system to the GitHub repository, and here it goes. The process is in a words to complete, and it will be completed in just a second, and here it goes. We have successfully uploaded our code to the GitHub, and now if we'll go to our GitHub page, we will be seeing our files here. In my case, it is a WordPress website that I am uploading to the GitHub for deploying it into the Hostinger. Now that we have got all our codes in the GitHub repository, but if you are not seeing the same results as I am seeing, then you have to make sure you have the Git installed into your computer or PC and you have logged in. When you will do this process of putting in the commands, you might be prompted to sign in to the GitHub. You have to do that process, and if you don't know about that process, you can refer to any of the GitHub tutorial. So we have uploaded the source code to the GitHub repository. Now what we have to do is we have to connect it to Hostinger hPanel. I have the custom domain in the hPanel and I have the hosting package as well. And now what I'll do is I'll go into the package where I'm gonna upload the code where we'll be hosting it, and for that I'll first check, and it is the important part of this process. You have to check first if your directory is empty or not. And in my case there are some codes here. What we'll do is we'll simply delete them. Let me delete them, and we need to make sure that this public.html folder is fully empty because we are going to upload the new code in here. Let me come back to the hPanel, and here what we have to do is to connect our GitHub to this panel so that whenever we make changes to that GitHub repository, it will be directly uploaded to this hPanel. We need to do few steps. First we have to go to this advanced tab here and then to Git tab, and in here we have to connect our repository. And for that what we'll do is we'll go to our GitHub repository here. I'll make a page refresh here, and if your code is public or if your code base is private, then you have to follow two different little structural changes. See, if your repository is public, then you have to normally copy paste the link here. You will go to this code and you will copy this link. If your repository is private, means no one can access your repository privately, then what you have to do is you have to copy this SSH command here, SSH link here. You'll copy this out and you will paste it here, and then you have to specify which branch you are using. In my case it is main, and in your case it will also be main. and directory. In this directory you don't have to put anything. It will by default take the public.html as the main folder, and then what we'll do is we'll do create here. And now what it will do is it will copy that repository to our hpanel, means it will deploy that repository in our hosting, and it is saying that git repository successfully stored. And if we'll refresh this page here in the file manager, you can see the code coming here. So now we have deployed our code to the hpanel, but the thing is it will not be redeployed after every push you will make to the GitHub repository. For that you have to set up some things, and those things are you have to set up the SSH, and you have to set up the webhook. And for that what you will do is you will copy this SSH code, and in your case if there is no SSH code in here, you will get the button to create it, and you will copy this SSH code and you will directly go to your GitHub repository. And in here you will go to the setting panel, and you will navigate to the deploy keys here, and you have to set up a deploy key here. You will paste the key here into this text area, and you will name it anything of your choice. In my case it will be deploy key, and you will check this option and add key, and then you might be asked to give your password or anything, and it is saying me that I have already used something. Let me change the deploy key here. I'll remove it and I'll generate a new SSH key, and I will copy it, and here it goes. And we'll keep the name as something else like website, and open this checkbox and add the key, and it will be successfully stored now. And the next step is you have to set up the auto deploy here, and for that we'll click on this auto deploy button, and we'll copy this webhook URL, and we'll directly navigate back to the back to the GitHub settings, and we'll look for the option named as a webhook, and we'll set it up as well. And we'll paste the link here, and you don't have to put anything in here, just paste the link and hit the add webhook button, and you are now good to go. Now let's see if the website is working. In my case I have only deployed the code base, means the database won't be applied or won't be deployed automatically. For that you have to manually deploy the database. I think in my case I already have the database stored in this package. Let me check it. Yeah, it is saying me that you have an error in establishing the database connection, and because I don't have the database, let me create one. So now I have successfully connected the database to the website, and it is now currently fully functional and working correctly. And now if you want to test how it looks after you make changes, or how the things will work after the change, then here is the little demo for you. For suppose we need to comment this button out here, and we don't want to keep this button here. What we'll do is we'll go to our code base in the VS Code, and we'll look for this button where this button resides, and we'll comment this button out. And for that I'm seeing the button here, and this is probably in here in this. Yeah, here is this button. I'm going to comment it out, and what I'll do is I'll push the same code again. Let me push the code, and for the pushing purpose, to push the code to the GitHub repository, you need to follow these commands. You have to first add all the files in the GitHub so that it will upload the updated files to the repository. I'll add this command git add dot, then I'll add the comment and I'll push the code, and the code is successfully pushed to the GitHub now. And now if we'll check and if we refresh this page, this button should not come here, but it will not happen immediately. Hostinger takes time to deploy the code, and that time is probably depend on your code base. The larger your code base is, the more time it will take, and probably it takes only 5 to 10 seconds to load. Yeah, it's gone now. Your GitHub repository is now currently synced to the Hostinger H panel, and if in case this method will not work, you can simply go to this git option here and you can redeploy the code here, deploy, and your code will be deployed. And this is it, and this is how you can directly deploy your code from VS Code to your Hostinger without manually doing the work. Hope you liked the video. If you did so, then please make sure to like the video. We don't want your subscription or subscribe, just like the video so that it can reach to many people possible, because not everyone is familiar with this method.